Hello, hello, and how are we today?
Not bad, not bad.
Well, at least the wind stopped.
Yeah.
It was wild in Pontefract yesterday. What was it like here?
It was horrible. I went to Castleford and oh god, it was awful.
Trees falling up. I had lessons, but I was supposed to have Claire out yesterday, but it was kind of dodge the wheelie bin.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at our reflection. We'll get some little marks in the book as well.
Make it easier for you to find quizzes.
Ah, splendid. Thank you very much. Oops. I'll find the right page in a second.
Keep going.
Oh, yep. Oh, here we go.
Keep going.
Oh,
There we go.
there we go.
I haven't done a final plan because I wasn't sure what we were.
Okay. Well, we
we
kind of left it open, didn't we?
Yeah.
We're at a, if you like, a key stage. If you look on the back here, you get your road skills, your basic control skills and road skills, which are kind of the same sort of lump.
Yeah.
This is all of our, if you like, basic skills, our basics. You know, like you do with your kit making. This is our foundation stuff. So, what we need to do is to make sure that we feel, or that you feel, no matter what I feel, that you feel comfortable, solid, you know, with all of that, before we start with this stuff, which is then, of course, doing all of that.
As well as doing something else.
Yeah, in busy situations where it's extra pressure. So, if there's any, if you like, we're building, if you think of it in terms of building a house, these are the foundations.
Yeah.
And we need the foundations to be solid so that when we build a house, it doesn't fall over.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It might do in this wind.
Well, yeah, quite possibly. So, excuse me. These bits is just using all that, but with the extra pressure of extra traffic, with faster moving traffic, and you've got to make the decisions in an instant.
Yeah.
So we need to be solid here, or we need to make sure that you feel solid. And the only way we can find that out is by asking you.
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned it to you before, but it might be that, you know, you're doing something perfectly well, and I'm sat there thinking, well, that was great. But inside you might be thinking, I'm not 100% confident of that. But the only way we can get to that is by, that's what the reflective log's all about, where you say that, well, okay, I'm able to do it all right, but I'd like to do that a bit more so that I feel really comfortable, or I feel safe, or I feel whatever it happens to be. Mm-hmm. So we kind of left it open today. Yeah. So we've gone kind of maybe turning the road in parallel park. Yeah. That then gives us the complete set for manoeuvres, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which is good. And it's all, while we're doing that, we're still doing all of this, because we've got to get in between places where we're going to do it. So how would it be, if I might make a suggestion, if we did the turn of the road, obviously the same places we did the stuff last week. If we do the turn in the road in the parallel park, but we build into that maybe just some general driving stuff, and see what it throws up. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah.
Okay. So in general, how are you feeling? You know, if you look at that lot there, and I say, well, do you feel confident in doing all of that?
Yeah, it's just.
Well, when
going back round roundabouts because we didn't.
We got one or two gaps, haven't we?
Half of it, yeah,
we did. So it's really.
And we hadn't done traffic signals or anything like that yet.
No, that's kind of the next logical step. But do you think it might be worthwhile to fill in these gaps before we move on?
Probably.
Okay.
Save us doing it at end.
Well, it does, and it's the last thing you want us to be working on that while you're trying to think of this stuff here.
Yeah.
So that probably, and of course when we say, perhaps we need to rephrase the question when you say, do you feel confident doing it? I suppose the real question would be, would you feel confident doing that on your own, without any help whatsoever at all? Which is a slightly different question, isn't it? So that's, when you're thinking about, when we finish today, when you go back and you're doing your reflection, it's a case of thinking, well, what went well, like you always do. What maybe didn't go so well, or didn't go as well as you wanted. How did you feel about it? And then, what might you do different? And what difference would that make? So if you think of it in terms of, in order to get to here, what do you need to feel? What do you need to, I was going to say, what do you need to think, but how can we plan our way through that so that you feel totally confident, so that you could do it without any assistance whatsoever? That makes sense.
Yeah. Probably go back and just fill in gaps.
Okay.
And just finish off bits that we haven't
Well, with a bit of luck,
quite covered.
doing this, if we do that, what we talked about, maybe just some general driving as well as those manoeuvres, we may be able to tick some of those gaps off while we're going.
Yeah.
Okay. You've done the quiz and marked them for me. Thank you very much.
Made it nice and easy.
You have. So, width of the road, length of the car, brilliant. Steering out of the car, that's cool. Left, right, yep, excellent. Yep.
I wasn't sure about that one, or the other one.
Yeah, it's so same as question 3, but as you travel from B to C, that's the sort of in-betweeny bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're kind of doing neither at that point. You're switching from one to the other, aren't you? That's good. It's same skills as we've done before. So you're answering the questions correctly, which is great. Cool. This is always an odd one because it just...
It's about judgment in it rather than...
Yeah. So it's because it...
Just how close are they? Are they going to stop? No.
What makes the difference each time in these scenarios, do you think?
What the other driver's doing.
It's them.
So
You just got to try and work it out, haven't you?
yeah.
Most people are great. They remember learning to drive, so they give you a bit of space. But some people don't. So the option, a lot of the time, is to just, well, let's wait and see what they're doing. You've always got the option of pulling forward and getting out of the way, which takes the pressure off, of course. That's good. So what skills have we got already that are going to help you with this, do you think? Why am I shouting? Suddenly raising my voice. What's that about?
Clutch control. Reversing, obviously.
Yeah. It's a bit of a...
I had to go up parallel parking with my mum.
Oh dear, how'd that go?
It wasn't too bad. I didn't get tucked in enough, but I got straight, but I wasn't close enough to the
Okay.
sort of edge.
So did you have another go after you'd done that?
No, 'cause I didn't like it.
All right.
So I said, wait till Bob teaches me, I won't do it again. Did 3.2 with her though, and I did that fine.
Okay, excellent.
But her car will not let me do anything reversing on clutch. It just cuts out, but hers rattles anyway, so
It's
there's
getting,
something up with it.
it's getting a bit older as well, isn't it? It's a bit like me, creaking at the edges.
It rattles a lot.
But if I, yeah, well, this is nice and quiet, isn't it? If I was to ask you, you know, the parallel park, if you were to have another go at it, what would you do different? Do you reckon?
I need to be more pointed in first, more of an angle rather before I straighten out, because I only went so far in and straightened out. That's why we're too far away from the, let's say, the curb sort of thing.
There you go, that's half the battle, isn't it? Well, I'll let you hold those while I take us along the motorway for that to the next junction. So, just as a recap, Mick, get yourself comfy while we chat. We'll do a bit of general driving. See if we can pick up on one or two of the gaps. It was, I think we had some stuff. Was it turning right out at T junctions? We wanted to do a bit more of, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
I think. Let's just should we have a quick check? Okay. Yeah, negotiate a variety of more difficult ones with restricted views, unusual gradients. We'd done some, but not a lot.
Yeah.
And then I think we had some on 8. Again, busier ones, complex, restricted views, unusual shapes. With varying speed limits, well, it's all just 30 here, so we can't do that, so we'll come back to that one. We've done the quieter roundabouts. Today, because of the time, we might catch a bit more traffic on the roundabout, so that'll give us some slightly busier stuff, so that's another little box ticked. And then the turn in the road and the reverse parking. Does that seem like a reasonable mix?
Yeah.
Do you think there's any other gaps, do you think, that we might need to... What do we say on lesson 6? Did we leave any undone there? We knew who had priority. They were all okay. Well, actually, I'll let you tell me. You have a read through there. Is there anything on there that you want to feel a bit more comfy about? This is not about what I think, is it? All about you. He didn't slow down much, did he?
No. I think he's just doing the restricted views and stuff and being on a hill and things.
Okay.
So we did do that down my end.
We
on
did.
Top, didn't we?
We
'Cause
did.
You were on a hill
We did.
every time we pulled out, but
Well, around this area, which is why I quite like this area, there's loads of different types of junction, uphill, downhill. Some are tight, some are open view, some
Yeah.
are closed. So it's just a general drivey abouty thing. Then turn the road, parallel park.
Yep.
And then have a review at the end of that and see where we're at. Get yourself comfy. Whenever you're ready, we'll drive off and take the first road on the left.
Oh, this should be fun. I have to remember how to do this now.
Remember, you've always got the option, when we were talking about that last time, about having a little bit of a play around with the clutch until you get the feel for it again, because you've been driving a different car, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't like his clutch at all.
Ah.
The Mum's is alright, but then... Where are we going?
Left again. Sort of a play around some of these junctions. When we get on the on the new road, I'd like you to take the first road to the left. It's just after the Fiat. So as you can see, there's one or two interesting scenarios here. And we're to the next road on the left. How'd that feel?
Alright. It's a bit of an obstructed view as you're coming around the corner.
It is. It is. It isn't as bad as it used to be because they've cut the hedge. It was getting overgrown. Well done. We'll follow this road all the way to the top. And at the top there's a T-junction. If you can turn left when we get there, that'd be super. So what you're looking for in particular here?
Cars moving, people moving,
Yep.
junctions and stuff.
Yep, cool. So if you see anything that may cause you an issue, what might you do with it?
Slow down or stop.
Yep, before you did that,
See what they're going to do.
quick check in the mirror as well, which you just did. Yep, just work it out. End of the road, we'll go left, please. Think about which gear you need. That's it, cool. Tricky this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well done. Actually, doesn't know how big his car is. Plenty of room for him, isn't there? Well done. How'd that feel?
Alright.
Cool. What I'd like you to do is to take the next turning on the left.
You like left loops, you do.
Yeah, I do. I like this one because it's an unusual one.
Ooh, that was odd, wasn't it?
It is tight, isn't it? How'd that feel?
Alright. Managed to get clutch when I wanted it.
Yeah. We'll go right at the end of this road. Use this little bit as a bit of a warm-up as well, get used to the car again.
I do like this car a lot better than my boyfriend's. His clutch is horrible.
And then the next road on the right, please. Well done. Difficult to get your position right when there's no markings.
Yeah. I really don't like road markings anywhere around here, do they?
No. At the end of the road, could we turn left, please?
Yeah.
once we get up a little bit further up, if you find a convenient place to pull over on that, have a little chat about all that. So you came out nice and slow there. What was influencing your decision there?
Because it was a bit of a hill and I couldn't see.
Yeah. Anything else?
Um,
Anywhere along here is fine. It all felt right to me. And
Yeah,
it looked like you
it
made
felt
all the right
alright to
decisions
me.
for the right reasons. I'm just making sure you saw the same things as me.
yeah.
So you came down the thing, you're right, you held it back, was on a hill, so you realised it was going to speed
It
you up just
started
as
rolling
it.
a little bit and I was like, well, it's going a bit fast, let's just slow it down a bit.
The
And then you couldn't really see too far down each road because there was hedges. You
Okay.
can only see the first little strip sort of thing.
right. And what might the problem have been in this road?
Turning round, there was like cars right on edges, so it's like a little one track that you have to go around.
Right, that's exactly right. That's so you've made the right decisions for the right reasons. Because it's just on these ones here, you don't get to see a lot until you get nearly to the end, isn't it? So you haven't really got a lot of time to be making your mind up about doing things. So that's great. I love the way that that's feeling. The when we came, you know that one where we double back on ourselves.
Yeah,
How did that one feel?
double backed.
You know where it was tight. And
Oh
it was
yeah, it
almost,
was like a little
yeah.
odd angle. It felt a bit odd because it's quite a sharp sort of corner, wasn't it?
It was.
It's quite a going right round, aren't you? So
How do you think your steering went there?
yeah, it was alright.
It's alright, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How was the speed on the approach? How did you feel there?
Could have possibly slowed down just a little bit more, just to give me more time to just get around the corner.
Any idea why we were a little quicker? Or anything?
It
Or
was
rather,
like
anything?
a decline, wasn't it? So,
It was. Anything else?
Gear. It was in gear, second gear. So
Okay.
even
Well
that
done.
trundle's a bit fast
It
in it. So.
might have been. I mean, nothing wrong with the way you did it. You might have been better in first because it was
Yeah.
really tight. Would have just given you a bit more time. But there's nothing wrong with the way you did it. What we're doing now is we're just really looking at, just turn that off because it's very annoying that. Because I can see that you're doing it, but it's really for me investigating. Okay, well, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Did you do it for the right reasons, or was it by accident?
Yeah.
So we'll have another little loop round there. Is there anything that you want to improve on, or anything that you want to feel better about, or?
Remembering that when I actually stopped to go down it first, that's what
Okay.
I always forget
Okay.
that. I always do.
Well, when I'm doing it, if I might give you a little handy hint, let me see if I can show you the way that I tend to think about it, and you might find this helpful to you. It might not. If it's not helpful for you, just say no, it wasn't helpful, Bob. So shut up. Yeah, can't find the right one. What I tend to do, here we go. If I'm approaching here,
Yeah.
and it doesn't really matter what I can see, I try and, from back here, I try and think of my approach as though I'm going to just roll ever so gently up to that line and stop
Yeah.
and into first gear and get ready to go. And I'm adjusting my speed accordingly. When I get to about this point, the view opens up, I can change my mind about stopping
Yeah.
and think, oh, I can keep going. I then think, well, which gear would I need? And I can keep the thing flowing, and it's in one sweeping movement. If it turns out that I need to stop, well, I've already planned for that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Sometimes it means, oh, somebody coming, or it's a little bit of an up, I can drop it into first gear instead. But I'm always trying to think of that so that I could stop there gently if I really needed to. But on this little bit of road, I'm probably thinking about changing my mind.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I know we always say you shouldn't approach thinking of stopping, but I'm always ready to do that. But I've got the option here as my view opens up.
Yeah.
Like especially these junctions where you only get that view on the last 10 foot.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Sort of. You sort of already planned to stop, but
Yeah.
maybe change your mind when you get there.
Okay. Do you want to? Is there anything you want to ask me then?
No.
It's okay to say that it doesn't make sense,
No, it does make sense. It's
Okay.
just
Should we try that then? See if that
remembering.
works.
That's the only problem. It's just remembering.
Well, it's part of the thing. I mean, that's an interesting point that you make. It's about remembering because it's. I don't know if I've ever explained to you that. Have we talked about the Peter principle before?
I'm not sure if you have.
Do you know what it is? It's
No.
there's 4 stages in how we learn things. You start off
Oh, I think you might have done.
unconscious
Yeah.
incompetence.
Yeah.
That's where you don't know what you're doing,
I didn't know what it was called.
but you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You then get to the stage where, when you're doing something for the first time, you suddenly realise, oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But now you know it.
Yeah.
And then what we're you get between that stage, from that stage you then go to being able to do whatever you need to do, but you're still really thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's where we are now. You can do everything, but you've got to think about it and you've got to remember what you've got to do. It's the next stage that we're hoping to get to, which is unconscious incompetence.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
It's backwards. Unconscious competence, where it's happening and you're not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Now, lots of ways you can get that, but mostly it's just practice and putting into practice what you know, and eventually you kind of just build a feel for it, like with anything else. And that's what we're doing here. So that's the stage you're at. You're competent, you know what you're doing, you know why you're doing it, how you're doing it, where you're doing it. We just need to take it to that next level now, which is just it happening almost without even thinking about it. So it's happening in your subconscious. Does that make sense, or is that just me blethering again?
No, it just makes sense.
Excellent. Should we try
I
that
always
same?
understand what you're saying, Bob.
You're fibbing. You patronise me.
Oh dear.
Should we try
Right.
another loop with,
Yeah.
with that in mind and see how it works? What sort of level of help do you want from me this time?
Probably just little nudges, just little.
Okay.
things
If it looks like you might need it.
Yeah,
You can also shout up for help as well if you want. How much of the route can you remember?
not a lot.
Okay. Do you want me to give you the directions?
Yeah.
then? Okay. So just to summarise, I'll give you the route directions, and I'll only help if it looks like you need it, or if you shout up.
Yeah.
Brilliant. First one on the left. How was that in terms of smoothness, do you think?
Yeah.
How was it?
Good.
And then the first road on the left, please.
Stop whining at me now.
How was that gear change in terms of smoothness?
Better than normal.
If I'd been blind and deaf, I wouldn't have known it had happened. Very smooth indeed. Follow the road all the way to the end. And then we'll turn left. Looks like an interesting piece of parking. Is that going to cause us any issues, do you think?
Probably.
Is there room to get through, do you think?
Don't really know.
Hard to tell at this point, isn't it?
And she keeps
I
moving
think that
around, doesn't
probably just is, but you're not really going to know until we get to about here.
she? Yeah,
What's it all
I
like
think
now?
you can. Yeah.
Well done. Again. Left at the end of the road. Well done. You really don't get a view until very late there.
No, well, I can't see if they were turning or not, so.
How'd that feel?
Better than last time.
Cool. So you went extra slow as you went through the gap. What influenced your decision there?
Because she had a dog.
The dog, yeah? Well
Yeah.
done.
So.
Yeah, it looked like it was
I
coming,
didn't want
didn't
to run it over. She might have been a tad upset.
Maybe so. Next road on the left, please. How'd that feel?
It's better than last time because it was slower.
Okay. It's very tight, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right at the end of the road.
A bit tight with other car coming the other way.
Yes. So you're actually letting the momentum in the car carry you to the junction.
Yeah.
And then the next run on the right.
Yeah, it's stupid clicking indicators.
Oh, bless him. And left at the end of the road. So there are some nice people about.
Well, there's some, but there are some.
Oh, that silver car's gone. It looked a prime candidate for parallel parking next to it. All the way at the end of the road. Well, I'll tell you what, let's pull up and do a little review first. How'd that feel?
Yeah.
Did it help? Hinder? Does it help you? You're thinking it looked better,
Yeah.
but it's just how it is inside for you, really.
But it felt better that time because a bit more like steady and getting used to clutch and car and stuff like that.
Well, it's like anything. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. But it from the passenger seat, it felt much smoother.
Yeah.
And you looked like you
I'm
were
not panicking as much about changing gear because it doesn't make me stress out as much. So I've had more practice with it.
Yeah.
With Mum's car and stuff, so.
Sure. And you're not having to
She
make that
shouldn't
decision
like the way I rag a gearbox around, but I don't care. So.
No, that's good. Excellent. Everything we do now, we're going to be doing junction. And obviously the practice you do in between, it's you're just building on everything that you know. Happy to move on to maybe have a look for some manoeuvres to do?
Yeah.
Some manoeuvres to do? Some places to do the manoeuvres?
Yeah.
So we're looking for turning the road. What sort of road do you think we might need for that on your first one?
Fairly wide one.
Okay. Traffic? No.
No.
Okay. And how about parallel park? What are we looking for there?
Again, like not as much traffic, clearly, so you're not
Okay.
going to have the chance to, you're going to have to keep stopping or pulling forward or whatever to let people pass all the time, so.
Yeah. So with as little
To
traffic as
practice.
possible and a reasonably wide road. Righty-ho. How about if I just give you some route directions to take us around some various places, and if you spot somewhere you think would be a good place to do it, you can just shout it, we'll pull over. Does that seem like a plan?
Yeah.
Excellent. Off you go when you're ready. So, parallel park or turn on the road, I'll let you decide. All the way at the end of the road, take the road to the left. So finally, on this one, a nice junction where you can see from a reasonable way out.
Yeah. Notice I kept missing this one out.
It's because I'm mean.
Which way, sorry?
To the left, please.
Left.
Follow the road ahead. Well done.
Oh, he's made me stand on uphill now.
Good practice though.
Yes.
Easy peasy. How'd that feel?
Better.
All right.
Straight on.
Yep, yes please. So obviously this situation makes life interesting.
Yeah. Just go slow.
And then now of course obviously your view's opened up so we can head on in. Well done. Tricky situation, that.
Yeah.
All you can do is do what you've done and control the speed to give yourself time to do what you need to do. As you can see, the park very well along here.
Of course.
Makes me a little nervous as well when I see cars come up that quickly to a junction.
Yeah.
You just think, are they coming or are they not? Well done. Perfectly timed. Good. I like the check either side. Don't trust anybody.
Of course not.
You just feel the speed picking up a little bit there.
Yeah.
What do you think's causing that?
Looks like a foot on clutch.
It is. Well done.
I forget that it always breaks you.
That's right. So you can feel it now. It's actually
Yeah.
got you in harness. But when we get round the corner, sometimes there's a potential to use for turning the road. Perhaps do you think this road's wide enough?
Yeah, probably.
Let's see what
You
we
probably
find.
don't think
when
you're
we
going to get any
round
wider, are you? So.
there. No. We may go there. Is that again? What do you think of the location beyond these parked cars? Does that look suitable? Do you think?
Yeah.
Find a convenient place to hold up. How about the bus stop?
Yeah. So
So
just pull up
maybe
just before.
yeah. But we're still leaving room for the bus to get there if he needs to. So you've had a bash of this before.
Turning the road is at like 3.2.
3-point turn, yeah.
Yeah.
So junction at the end there. Are we far enough away from that? Do you think?
Yeah. Well, not that side
Yeah.
of this. Right.
Well, actually both. But that's obviously that one's the main road.
Far enough away from the main one, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
The other one's a little bit close, but you could probably not going to be pulling out that fast, so
Yeah.
we'll see you before then.
How about the level of traffic on here? Happy with that, or do you want to find somewhere quieter?
Still think it's a bit busy.
Okay, off you go. When we get to the end of the road, we'll go right. Interesting situation ahead of us. Oh, he's in the compound, right at the end of the road. I thought he was reversing around the corner there for a minute. Well held. Well done. You caught it.
Yeah.
Pretty
Very
slick.
fast.
And we'll follow this road. What might you been able to do different there, do you think?
Bring my clutch up a bit better.
Yeah, that's one of those
It's what
situations
it
we're talking
was,
about.
it was just,
Actually getting out quick because somebody was coming around.
we were alright at first, but then straight on.
Yes, please.
Maybe a bit better going into third to go up the hill? Or is it better stay lower?
What you need is to be able to have power when you want it. So I think third might be a little high here,
Right.
perhaps.
It's a bit steep, isn't it? Because the steeper it is, you go lower, don't you?
That's it. We'll take the next road on the left. It's just after this next tree. You won't see this one until you're pretty much on it.
Oh,
Well done. La, 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 la. Think you could do a 3-point turn here? What do you reckon?
possibly. Yeah, probably. It's just narrower than the other one, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So we'll find a wider one then.
Yep, yep.
We'll go left at the end of the road. It's on a little bit of a bend as well, isn't it? Which is...
Yeah. That's what Jimmy tried doing. He tried making me do a 3-point turn. It's somewhere where it was impossible to do a 3-point turn. And I was like, you're joking, mate. It's too narrow. He went, no, it's not. See, it is. I said, even you couldn't do a 3-point turn.
Should have got him to do it. This one seemed wide enough.
Yeah.
Let me see if we can find a spot. Obviously there's a bus due, so this would be a good place to stop with me.
A bit over
There's
side
a
of
room.
roundabout. Because I think it's a bit close to roundabout.
That one's too close. There's a
Yeah.
room before the roundabout, do you think?
Possible to do it here.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's just a case of... Do you pull up on?
Yeah, please. So we're maybe a little close to the roundabout, perhaps, do you think?
Yeah, so shall I just reverse a little bit?
Can do. Have we got enough room to do it a little bit further back with that car in there? What do you think?
It's just because it's right on edge
It is.
thing, isn't it? So...
If we
Is there
look,
not any other side?
that end's going to be busy because the
Right,
school will be
school.
chugging out soon.
Right.
If we go round this roundabout though, if you look behind us, there's a bit of a gap further down the road, isn't there? Before that parked car. So do you want to go round the roundabout and come down? Come back down rather? That's the problem, is finding good places to do it,
Yeah.
where there's no traffic. So we'll go all the way around, back down this road. Gear changes are getting pretty slick, aren't they?
So we want this one, it would make some money.
That's it. As you turn into the road, you can maybe get a look, see if you can do it before that parked car on the left. See what you feel. If not, we'll go down further down the road. What do you reckon?
No, I still think it's a bit close to the junction.
Go on then, off you go. Not a problem.
This bit or next bit?
At the next bit, because of the bus stop here.
Oh, yeah. I
He's
forgot the
waiting for
guy
the bus.
waiting for the
So
bus.
once we're past these parked cars and clear of the junction.
Oh, there's a bus stop at this side as well.
Yeah, we'll go, if we go a little bit past them, we should be just about right. Over that.
Oh, going a bit faster.
Okay. So you've had a bash at this. So if I was to say to you, turn the vehicle to face the other direction using forward and reverse gears, tell me what you'd do.
Well, I did it on clutch of my mum's.
Okay.
So I did it slow, so I just reversed back, did I? And then go forward but at an angle,
Yep.
and reverse back, just straighten myself up,
Yep.
and sort of turn myself that way as well.
Uh-huh.
And then go that way, but as you go that way, you swing around all in one motion and carry on.
Okay. Where are you looking?
Everywhere.
Okay. What sort of speed?
Dead slow.
Do you want to just have a go and see how it goes, or do you want to talk about it a bit more? What do you reckon?
Well, I'm not sure what to do in regards to other cars.
So if somebody comes along, what do you think we should do? If we were, let's say you were over at the other side, ready to come back.
Reverse back,
Could do.
so get out of the way. But then again, I'll just sit and wait and go around you.
Difficult call, isn't it? Depends on what they're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
How can you let them know, do you think, that you're waiting for them to make the decision?
Sit there and park.
Yeah, stare at them.
Yeah. No.
And if they're still sat there and if you're comfortable to carry on, that's great. But if you're not, what might you do?
Just sit and wait till they move.
You could go, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Or just go and let him know that you're waiting for him.
Yeah.
He or she can let you know they're waiting for you. Any idea how they might do that? They might go, oh, it's you.
Fold the hands.
Yeah. Well, that is
Come
one.
on then.
Sometimes they flash the lights, but can you think of any problems with that?
Well, it might blind you.
Yeah, good point.
Depending what time of day it is. You don't always know what they mean because sometimes they use it as thank you and stuff, don't they?
That's right.
You
And
can
they
come out and
could have done
stuff.
it by accident as well. Well
Yeah.
done, yeah. So, happy with the width of the road?
Yeah.
Reasonably quiet?
Yeah.
Reasonable idea about what we're going to do if somebody comes?
Yeah, sit and watch them.
Yeah. Of course, if they do come, we can plan that when it happens. So, you happy to have a go?
Yeah.
Okay, whenever you're ready, turn the vehicle around, face the other direction.
As long as I don't run the people over at bus stop first. So is it reverse back?
Nope, forward
Just
first.
forward first.
1, 2, 3.
Ah, right, okay.
Interesting.
Alright, I'll give
That
you
one-
all a minute. Carry on.
That woman just ran across in front of the bus.
Really? I didn't see that.
Oh, she must have been running across to get on the bus. I thought you'd hit it first.
I'm not going to have done that. It's all the way across it, isn't it?
It is.
Little thing underneath. Oh, curved it.
Potholes. No, that's a pothole.
Oh, like a curb.
But you can tell if you just let the brake off and see if it still rolls back, so you're not on the curb.
Oh,
Just that little lump in the road. What do you think he's going to do?
turn.
He's gone around you.
Bye. Forward. Oh, bit fast. There we go.
Find a convenient place to pull over on the left. How'd that feel?
It was alright.
It was alright.
Yeah, it was alright.
Good. So if you're going to do that again,
Yeah.
what would you do different?
Probably on the first one, pull a bit more sort of curved. Different sort of
Well, there's a. Let me just turn that off. I called it turn on the road. You called it 3-point turn. How many points did you do it in?
Three.
So what would you gain by going?
Just make it less tight, sort of thing,
Okay.
for getting backwards.
So how might you do that? Do you think to get it round tighter?
More steering.
Yeah. So you were working hard, just get them a touch at the top and the bottom. So we're always looking for three things during manoeuvres. If you remember, control, observation, accuracy. Were you under control? Did you take the right observations?
Yeah.
Were we accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you'd said about getting it round tighter would help you on a narrower road.
Right.
But on here, and they do it here while they're on tests, but that's it's not about test, of course, it's about turn the vehicle face the opposite direction. How do you feel about that? So you got it. That's what you'd change on the first. Would you change anything on the other legs that you did? Do you think to?
More steering when you're coming to face the other way, because obviously I only just got it in line.
Yeah.
Otherwise would have nicked the curb.
Yeah, I think.
So just to bring it in a little bit tighter.
Well, if you've done more steer on the first bit, that sets it up for the next two
Yeah.
bits as well, which helps. I kind of think of anything I want to improve. We'll get better at it as we do it on different roads and different practice. The only thing I would...
Got round my end about all them cul-de-sacs and just turn round.
Well, yeah. The only thing I would maybe suggest that might make life easier for you is put the handbrake on at either end. So then you've got loads of time.
Yeah.
Beautiful clutch control, by the way. You found the bite with the foot brake on, and then went to the gas and then moved it forward, which is tremendous clutch control. You put the handbrake on, you've got all day.
Yeah. It's just my mum's, I did it on clutch until it decided it didn't like reversing on clutch and kept cutting out. And I'm like, well, I've just done it 3 times. Why is it not doing it now?
Yeah, it was probably overheating a little bit.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do now?
What was the other one? Parallel
Park.
parking.
Should we see if we can find somewhere to do it?
Yeah.
If we go to the roundabout and take the road to the right, which is the one to the third exit, I think I spotted some cars up there. Well done. How are these hill starts coming on, do you think?
Getting better.
They certainly are.
The horrible one after that, them road works and you hear me start hill, I was like, "Grr."
So we'll go right into the third exit.
This one.
Yes, please. These ones are a bit close to the junction, but if we go up to the end of the road bends round to the right, we should find some target vehicles there. Now that you're already in the gap, there's nowhere really for you to go, so he should wait, which he has done. Give me a nice nod and a smile, I'll give him a wave.
Keep going, yeah?
Yes, please. There's nowhere for you to go there. You're in the gap. So with a bit of luck, when we get round this corner, we should find some vehicles somewhere along here.
He looks a bit dodgy, doesn't he?
I thought he was having a pee, if I'm honest. I just looked
outside
and
of school,
thought,
if
he's
I
not
know
really
it.
doing what I think he's doing. So, how about this one for a target vehicle on the left? Does that look suitable?
Yeah. Well,
Might be. Well, as we get closer, how close is he to that car on the right, do you think?
probably quite close on this corner.
So if we did it there, we'd probably... Yeah, so we'll find out that one. I mean, you could technically do it there, but of course we're blocking the road completely while we're in the start position. Well spotted. And he did the right thing, bless him.
You come around one day and it's just parked the car and you can't move when you don't
And
want
the next,
them.
there's nobody
And then
about.
when you're looking for one and then nobody there.
Always the way. If we take the next road on the right, so it's after the red car.
These are weird looking houses, aren't they?
Oh, sorry, my mistake. It's a bit further up.
I'm going to say I thought that. Huh? Confusing the poor guy.
That one on the right. That's the one I meant. Good. Remember the clutch this time. Well done. If we pull up on the left here. How does this one look for a target vehicle?
Yeah, it's fine, isn't it?
So, if I was to say to you, pull up alongside that car, reverse back in, what are you going to do?
Well, do you have to pull like 2 car spaces in front?
You can
Or the
stop
car
level with them
space.
if you want. Going further forward,
Means you can reverse it.
it does, means
Okay.
you've got a bit of space to set your speed. It's up to you. You can just stop level with them and then come back. You can go a little bit further forward and reverse back. I'll leave that entirely up to you. Then what will you do?
Reversing it at a tight angle.
When will you steer this way? Any idea?
What do you mean?
Or do you just judge it?
You should probably just judge it.
Okay, I'll live with that. Then what?
Straighten up.
Okay. Ooh, he's in a hurry. You want to talk some more about it? You want to just do it?
I'll have a go at doing it.
Okay. What level of help?
Probably a little bit.
Okay. Or should we?
Let's see how
We're
we
going to
go.
move the car. Should we try our standard? We'll have a go and see how we get on with it.
Yeah.
Now, how about this time? Once you've pulled up alongside the car, if another car comes, what will you do?
Probably pull forward unless I come all the way.
Or, depends if you're sort of halfway in, will you just carry on?
Yeah.
If you're at the front, could you pull forward here? Maybe the easiest thing to do might be to just carry
Carry
on.
on, because there's a junction.
But we'll judge it when we come to it. Off you go. I'll let you make all the judgments. I'll only open me gob if I feel you need the help.
It's odd having that clippy thing on the bottom. Okay, give this a go.
I want to be reversed in the other side of him.
The other side.
The other way.
Ah, makes sense now. So,
I wonder what you were doing there at first.
I'm thinking, why is there another car on the other side? I'm thinking.
Ah, right.
I'm
Yes.
expecting the car to be there.
Ah, no. We're just going to reverse behind them.
Right. So,
There you go.
from here.
Yes, please.
Oh, the curb.
Okay. What do you reckon? What went wrong there, do you think? What?
I think it's on a slight hill and I
It is
didn't
a bit.
realise it went a bit fast before I had a chance to turn.
Tell you what, shall we try? We'll try a different car. You can't do it twice next to the same car. They get upset. If we take the next road on the right, we'll find out what
You
they
go
do.
around the car.
They do. They do.
Cry babies.
Strange though it may seem. And he's obviously going to have to wait for you. Then we'll take this next road on the right and we'll look for another vehicle. But we'll stop short of it.
I understand what you're
Something
getting
that-
at now.
That's okay. Didn't make myself clear enough to begin with. That's well done. Typically they're all on the other side of the road. But we don't want them. So if we take the next road on the left, what we're going to do is we'll go round the block and come back in this way. So we'll take this road on the left. Take the cuff. And then right at the end of this road, and right at the end of the next road. blue car, we can use that one.
Behind this blue one here.
Yes, please.
It's a bit of a wider road, isn't it? This one?
It is. And what it does mean is that while it's beside that car, if somebody comes, they can still get by.
Yeah.
So, on our last attempt, I'll put a lot of it down to confusion. May not explain what I meant probably. So you pull up alongside that car and reverse back in.
Into this gap in front.
Yep. Eventually, of course, we'll do it between two parked cars. But on your test, they'll just do it behind one. So, how did it work for you, do you think? Was it working okay?
Going in out was alright, apart from the width of the road.
Mm.
It was just obviously, I didn't realise it was on slight downhill, and then went in a bit fast. It rolled a bit fast towards the end before I had a chance to turn.
Give you time to do as much. Yeah, so I like the way you do it. If I can give you a handy hint and tip, what you look to be doing is you're going really tight and then really tight that way, which will bring you in lovely and dead close to the car. But maybe if you didn't steer as much and came in at a slightly less of an angle, you've got less steering to get off. You'll be a little bit further back, but you're leaving yourself a bit less work to do.
Yeah.
Let's see. You want to try it and see?
Okay.
Off you go when you're ready.
We'll give it a go.
It's fantastic clutch control. It really is.
Oh, that went a bit fast.
Okay. As you can see, as you're coming in there, just on the last bit it rolls down. So before you
It's one
start,
of them funny roads, isn't
it is. Should we try the next car along?
Yeah.
Nearly though. Just kind of
I
run at
still
a time.
Yeah, I
for
still
steering.
can't believe that they don't let you practicing on the cars. Won't bother me as long as you didn't hit it.
People get a bit.
Crabby.
I've had one or two frank exchanges of views with people on this subject.
So this car here.
Try this other one, yeah. So again, if we stop short of it, so where do you think the most difficult bit is?
The coming in is alright.
Yeah.
It's the last little bit, just straightening it up.
It is.
Because I can tend to roll.
Okay. What can you do to make that easier, do you think?
Probably a little bit of brake
Mm-hmm.
without having an extra incline.
Yeah. I would perhaps even be tempted. You know the bit? It's the bit between steering that way and that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
I might be tempted. Stop at that point. Have a look around, and then begin again.
Yeah.
And you've killed the speed.
Yeah.
You can never do this too slow. Shall we have a go and see how that works?
Aye, aye.
Again, of course, before you start, you get the chance to have a little bit of a look. So you can see this time it's not quite as wildly downhill as the other one.
I'll give him a minute.
Yeah. Give him a second, see what he's doing. He doesn't look like he's going to slow at all, does he?
Not even a little bit.
And once he's gone through, of course, the others will follow.
He's turning, we're alright. That
It
was
was
tight,
close, wasn't it? And we can carry on because we're midway through. There's room for them to get through there. That's it, well done. A little bit slower. Give yourself plenty of time.
We're still on our road.
No, it stopped.
Don't say this one's getting like over this car.
I was trying to work out why it had stopped, but I couldn't. Was that? How'd that feel?
Don't want to get too close to the bum when I'm practicing.
You did well under pressure there. Well done.
I just thought, oh, they can wait for me today.
Well, there's nothing up. There was actually room on that side to get through, but the car coming out decided, well, she was going to wait for you to be nice, and then because she was waiting, they then waited, which caused it. But that's fine. We've done it. So how does that feel?
Yeah, feels better than last time.
Do you think you're in pretty snug?
I think we're all right. I think it's we pulled a bit far back. Oh yeah, not bad.
The distance back you were, leave it at that. This is how because you're used to seeing people park like they do on your street. When they get in, then they go right up close to each other. When you first came in there, you were probably, what, 3/4 of a car length back? Just leave it at that. That's enough.
Yeah.
If you're parking where you live, obviously, you've got to nudge them all up because everybody seems to have 2 cars and there's not enough space. So the way you did it there, you came around, you stopped, and then that'd give you the time to then control it on the way back. So if you were to do it again, anything you might do different?
Not that one, no. I preferred that one to all other ones.
Yeah. What made it successful, do you think?
Because it was slower.
Yeah.
And then when we started to roll, I managed to just catch it before we went too fast and rolled away.
Speed is not your friend on manoeuvres. It's not anybody's friend. So the slower you do it, the better it is, because you've got time. If it's not going quite the way you want, you've got loads of time to adjust. So what I would think about when you're coming in, if you're thinking I'm too far back, as long as you've got room to drive back out, you're all right. Whereas if you nudge forward like this to drive back out, you're going to have to reverse and then go again, aren't you?
Yeah.
Which is the way it works where you live. That's right.
It's
then you're kind of
stuffed.
stuck.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, if we measure that against the targets, I mean, obviously, we're going to be doing this over and over and over again. Every time, when we're driving around the place, if we spot somewhere that's a good place to practice, we'll just say, let's do one here. So let's have a look. Come on.
I might tag this one next time too.
Are you saying I'm old? Is that what you're saying? You're right, by the way. I am. So, parallel parking, how do they look?
Well, I got a suitable starting position once the just to go around about.
Yep, that's fine. We'll blame Bob for that. That's fair enough.
I took all round of observations before I started.
Yep. Sorry, I'm going to give you the penalty, man. Just throw it away.
I don't want it really. Coordinated controls.
Okay.
And I did slow-ish walking pace.
I prompted you on the last one just to take the speed down.
Yeah.
So is that something we might want to think about? We've definitely covered it, but are we masters of it? Yeah. So we'll need to practice it a bit more, maybe. Does that make sense? Cool. Target 4, pause occasionally.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Make sure
It's
nobody
another
coming at me.
yeah, well, it's another point as well where if you pause and then look around, the speed's never going to build up on you.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a defence mechanism too. Sufficient steering to the left?
Yep.
Yep. Sufficient steering to the right?
Yep.
Okay.
We managed to get there, didn't we?
We did. Well, you did. Respond correctly to other road users and pedestrians?
Yeah, made them wait for me.
Yeah. Wait.
Sit.
More challenging circumstances. Well, obviously we'll do that as we're out and about, as with everything else. When we'll eventually be doing it in places where, not where we're getting in the way of people, but where there's maybe a bit more time pressure. Where come on, you've got to get on. Do you know Roper Gate in Pontefract?
Yes, that's a tiny street line, isn't it?
That's right, and there's pedestrians all over the place. Eventually be doing it on there. So
Joy.
M5 down the road.
Turn it round.
So yes, that's basically your starting position.
Yeah.
Get the car ready to move and take all round observation. Target 2. Including blind spots, which you do all the time, which is great. All round observations. throughout the
Yep.
manoeuvre. Yep. Coordinate the controls.
Yep.
And as I tell you, clutch control was stunning. But as I outlined before, put the handbrake on at either end.
Yeah.
And you've got all the time in the world. Coordinate the controls in order to maintain a speed that allows you to get the steering on properly.
Yep.
Yep. And it's kind of the same. Coordinate the controls in order to maintain the speed again. Going back. Respond correctly to other road users. Did we do that?
No, I don't think we did. I don't think there's anybody.
Nobody turned up, did they?
No,
So
they
we
bothered
might
to.
not want to come back to.
Yeah.
No, you can do about it until people do. And then confident in your ability to assess whether the location would be safe, legal or convenient.
Yeah, because I know the other one too close to junction.
Yeah. Well, we had a chat about that when we were driving about, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, good. So, what you might want to do for next time is perhaps have a look through the book again and have a think about all where any gaps might be, things
Yeah.
that you want to.
I need to cross the Marth back.
Yeah, sure.
So,
Yeah, and then have a think about perhaps as a provisional plan next time, what we might do is the manoeuvres. Now we'll just, whenever we get the chance, we'll just pop one in. Yeah. If we're driving about the place, we think, well, this would be a good place to do it. Or if we're driving around and you think there's a good, can we try one here? Yeah. And we'll gradually turn the roads on narrower and narrower and narrower roads.
Yeah. But not still.
No,
Yeah,
not
delivery
no.
base.
No.
Can't believe he did that to me. I was like,
You
"It's
should have
not
made him
wide
do it.
enough."
You should have made
is.
him do it.
No, it's not.
You should have said, you do it then. And then have a think about the these bits here, our road skills, because we could really need to kind of close all those off and make sure that you feel absolutely solid on all of those before we start putting you under extreme pressure.
Yeah.
Because if there's any cracks in here, they'll appear while the pressure is on.
Yeah.
So and the only person who can really tell me about how that is you.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what I think, it's how you feel inside. And then when you're doing your reflective log, it might seem like it's a bit soft and a bit mamby-pamby, but put down, how did you feel when you were doing it? What was going on inside you? Because that can sometimes help you to clarify your thoughts about where you want to take it next. Or what you feel strong about and what you feel weak about. So, does that seem like maybe a reasonable plan? You can change your mind about it. A reasonable plan for next time? We'll just, similar area, do some busier stuff, maybe start spreading out a little more. So we're bringing in some busier junctions. So, what do you think the difference is from in the busy situations? What do you think the difference is from your end?
It's just their speed that scares me. I'm not bothered about what they're doing as long as it's just how fast they come down the road. It's like...
Yeah, so it's... The problem is if you've already committed and they're coming, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think you could do about that? What do you think you need
Just
to
keep
do?
going slow.
Can you think of any problems that might cause?
It just depends if they just keep going and keep going and keep going.
That's if they keep going, then you might end up wearing a car. So before we tackle the busier stuff, what we probably need to do, and we don't need to do that on busy junctions, by the way, I'll give you an idea in a second, is get used to making the car pull away real fast.
Yeah.
So that if you did commit and there was somebody coming, you can just waz the
Speed
throttle
up.
on and you're out of the way.
Yeah.
Now, we don't need to be on busier junctions to do that. We can do it on quiet junctions. We can be coming out here and just say, let's pretend there's somebody coming fast and bang and
Let's
get on
pull
there.
out this one fast.
So we can maybe get used to, before the pressure of that comes, is to maybe practice that on some quieter junctions, but pretend they're busy.
Yeah.
Might sound a bit daft, but does that seem like
Let's
it
just
would work?
pretend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a better idea than actually doing it on a busy junction because that would scare crap out of me.
Well, what it does is it allows you to, if you like, build up your confidence.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of, and it's about confidence and it's about how you feel and what you think about things, because that's those emotions are what drive your behaviour or what make you confident about things or not. So if we can tick all those little boxes so that so that if I said to you, well, do you think you could do that on a busy junction now? Yeah, no bother. Then you're ready. Because if I think this is sometimes a problem, it's because for learner drivers they say, oh, well, that's the next lesson, I want to do that. But if you're not 100% certain with this one, it's not doing you any favours to kind of move on, really. You just store up You know, those little feelings when you think, oh, I really don't want my lesson to come today. And for an awful lot of people, we must have friends who've been learning to drive. Some of them enjoy it, some of them just don't.
Yeah.
And the reason that they don't enjoy it is probably because they're out of their comfort zone. So it's okay to put stuff down like, no, I'm not happy with that. Happy with that, more work on that. And I'm more than happy to be directed to working on things that you want to be more confident about. So that was a very long-winded way of saying that, wasn't it? So we'll leave that as a potential plan for next time and let you have a think about it when you get home. And then we can chat about it at the start of next time. Next time, was it Tuesday?
Yeah.
So that's your day off. Do you want to go out later on so you get a lie in? Or would it be better for you earlier on?
No, yeah, later on.
Later on. So, but same time too?
Yeah.
The nice thing about that, what it does is, as you've noticed on the last bit of this lesson, we've started to hit a little bit of traffic.
Yeah.
So we can kind of build up to it. You wanted to do a shorter one on the Tuesday, a longer one on the Wednesday?
Yeah, because I've got coursework on Tuesday to do.
Okay, no bother
From
at
the
all.
class.
Any particular time on Wednesday? 10?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And then what we'll do is we'll run till you've had enough.
Yeah.
Again, we'll come over here. We're only ever 5 to 10 minutes away from the office, so if you want a break, you want to come out, we can just stop and just do that. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Because sometimes it's nice to just build a little break in, because you cannot really concentrate hard for more than 40 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
But well, anything you want to ask me? How do you feel about
I
that?
think so. I didn't mind it today, we're alright.
It's what was different? What do you think made it okay today rather than other times?
I don't know. I'm just getting used to clutch, and I've had practice doing that 3.10 before, so.
Yeah, it's worthwhile
And
thinking.
parking as well. I've
Yeah.
practiced this before.
Yeah, it's going well. I mean, your clutch controls carried you through it, which
Yeah.
is brilliant.
My mum said it was weird because she didn't realise that I was doing it all on clutch till I told her. And she's like, well, why are you doing it like that? I said, that's because I've been taught. And she's like, all right. She
Most
said, I
people
don't do
don't
it
do it
like
that
that.
way.
She said, I use
You load the
accelerator.
gas. It's not good for your car, that.
I was like,
The level
"Oh."
it, but the refinement, the clutch control you can do
Yeah.
that way. I mean, you can use
That's
the
why
gas
I don't
as well.
like his car, because I don't like his clutch. But my mum's car, I don't mind, because it's like this one, it's got a bit more of a looser clutch, whereas he's quite sort of, you just lift up a little bit and you're off.
I've got the Fiesta. Mine's it's not an on-off switch, but you've got to play careful with it, otherwise you end up with wheel spin.
But if I don't like it, I'm going to make him go get a different one next time.
Well, there,
Make him get, what is it, Focus or something. They said that's got a nicer clutch on it, he said. He drove his
I love
dad's.
my Focus. They're great, but the Fiesta, you get used to it. All you'd have to do would be to drive it for a day. And
Practice
you'd feel
it.
fine. Yeah. Righty ho, well, let's swap seats and I'll drive the motorway a bit home, unless you want it.
Well, I could give it a go if you want.